This is Mr. Don't BS Me. In part 1, we outlined the basic structure of the proposed Griggsville solar project, two separate facilities on one parcel, ultimately controlled by a Canadian pension fund. In this segment, we look at how the project is expected to generate revenue. First, the federal government gives them a 30% tax credit on the entire cost of building the project. Here's how it actually works. They don't get a check in the mail. Instead, they get to knock 30% off what they owe in federal taxes. So, if it costs $10 million to build these arrays, they only have to come up with about $7 million themselves. The other 30% comes straight off their tax bill. In practice, large projects often use tax equity investors who provide upfront capital in exchange for the tax benefits. Since how they won't generate $3 million in federal taxes within the first year, they sell their tax credits for cash. This is very common in the solar industry. Without tax equity financing, many large projects would have trouble getting built because the developer wouldn't have enough money up front or enough tax liability to use the credits themselves. The Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 was passed through the budget reconciliation process. It was signed into law by President Biden on August 16, 2022, extending and expanding federal tax credits for solar and other clean energy projects. The second major revenue stream comes from renewable energy credits, or RECs, sold through the Illinois Shines program. Each megawatt-hour of electricity generated creates one REC. At current low-end pricing, those RECs are worth approximately $42 each. For a 7.5 megawatt project, that translates to roughly $550,000 per year in REC revenue. That's a low-end conservative estimation. The Illinois Shines program was significantly expanded and strengthened by the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act of 2021. Utility companies in Illinois are required by state law to purchase these RECs from solar projects. Here's how we got this wonderful system. Back in 2016, under Governor Rauner, they created the basic framework. Then in 2021, Governor Pritzker took that program and cranked it up to 11 with the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act. So it breaks down like this: 30% off the construction cost, forced REC payments from utility companies. Since the utility companies don't print their own money, they just add that cost to your electric bill every month. Now let's add in the money they make from selling the actual electricity through long-term contracts or community solar subscriptions, which means they're selling the same energy twice. The Democrat leadership thinks that solar energy's so nice, you don't mind paying twice for the same energy, and you wonder why your electric bill's increasing. It is important to note what happens without these incentives. Removing the 30% federal tax credit and the REC payments would leave the project with only revenue from selling electricity. Under those conditions, the time required to recover the original construction cost would stretch to an estimated 20 to 30 years, and the project would likely show little to no meaningful profit during that period. In Part 3, we will examine the County Board's options going forward, the local tax implications for Pike County once the land is reclassified from agricultural to commercial solar use. Leave a comment and let us know if this changes your perspective on solar energy.
Nobody's coming to save you, it's up to you. So go vote and save yourself.